Welcome to the Insomnia Project. Sit back, relax, and listen as we have a conversation about the mundane, the ordinary, sometimes even the strange. One thing we can promise you is that our conversation will be less than fascinating, so that you can feel free, that is, to drift off. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you will listen and sleep. I'm your host, Marco Timpano.
And I'm your co-host, Nidhi Khanna.
You know, Nidhi, we were talking about duty-frees and how much we enjoy perusing at duty-free in different airports and whatnot. Let me ask you, I know for myself, the first thing I do when I walk into a duty-free is I like to see what the local items are they have in the duty-free. So, for example, if you go to a duty-free in Canada, you're likely to find various maple products. So, like maple fudge or maple syrup in a fancy bottle, or maple cookies.
Ice wine
Ice wine, some mousse.
They're called mousse droppings, I think.
No, I was thinking of the
chocolate.
chocolates. I was thinking of like mousse plush toys.
Ah, yes, of course.
Or RCMP plush toys, or mousse dressed as RCMP.
Yes.
Or beavers dressed as RCMP officers. If you're in the Maritimes, you're likely to find a lobster wearing a sou'western, which is that sort of raincoat that fishermen wear out there. Sometimes you'll find, certainly if you're in Western Canada, say in Vancouver, British Columbia, or anywhere in British Columbia for that matter, you'll find various types of totem poles they'll have at the duty free.
Inuksuks as well.
Without a doubt. And so that's the first place I go to. So different countries and different cities will have different sort of local duty-free items in it. So I remember when I was in Italy last year, I went into the duty-free, and there was a fantastic bottle of Amaro, which is a liquor that's made of various herbs, so it's very bitter, that I can't get here. And so I was very happy to see that, and I bought 2 really large bottles of that. When you go to a duty-free, what is it that you source or look for?
Marco, I enjoy perusing the cosmetics in duty-frees.
Yes.
So I think for any person who wears makeup or perfume or anything like that duty-frees are ideal places to pick up those type of items and have a look. So I enjoy the London Heathrow duty-free.
Oh, it is huge and ample. And interesting thing about the London Heathrow is that there's a duty-free, and then you walk for 7 minutes.
And there's another
duty-free, and then you walk to the food court, and there's an additional duty-free. It's as if they don't want you to miss your opportunity. And I loved when I was in London, they had sampling of various
liquors,
scotches, and let me tell you, they were great, expensive scotches. There's nothing like an arduous trip you're going to take that's going to take 12 hours, and before you go on the plane you've had some great scotch. But you were saying, sorry, before.
No, scotch is also one of those that when people hear that you're traveling, there's always someone who's hoping that you can pick them up a bottle of expensive scotch from the duty-free.
I tend to buy rums. I love to get rums. I love dark rums, and so that's the thing that I buy at duty-frees.
So I don't tend to buy alcohol from duty-frees, usually because I'm traveling to and from Europe.
I see.
And as a result, there's always an exchange rate issue. However, that being said, whenever I leave Canada, I always pick up my maximum allowable alcohol, whether that be vodka or rum or any other liquor, because it's so much cheaper in Canadian dollars than, let's say, in British pounds. So
Right.
I get to enjoy because I'm usually traveling to Europe to visit friends. I get to
Right.
enjoy that part of our trip together with them.
You know, it's interesting. You mentioned that, you buy your maximum allowance. I'm always very, very strict with that. For some reason, I don't like to exceed it. I make sure that it is within regulations because I always feel that that's the one area where customs could stop you and in my case would be able to figure out whether or not I exceeded the limit. So I'm always very strict. And
Have you ever been stopped by customs?
oh, not for no.
For
no,
that?
I actually have no. I haven't been stopped in any place for customs, which is great. But back to duty free. What's the strangest thing you've ever bought at duty free?
Oh, good question, Marco. Good question. I have to say I'm a pretty boring duty-free shopper. I remember actually I lucked out one year because, as I said, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I used to live in the UK.
Right.
And so I would travel back home during the holidays. And one year for Christmas, I happened to be traveling around the time that they had sales at duty free. And the London Heathrow duty-free sales can be really good if you get in at the right time.
I see.
And I managed to pick up, I think, 3 high-end perfumes for dirt cheap
Right.
because they were all on sale. And that was my best duty-free find. But other than that, I'm not a big duty-free shopper.
I see.
remember, actually, when we used to travel to India as children, you would have the duty-free component, obviously, on the plane, which they still have.
Right.
But we used to always fly through Switzerland, and we would be able to get the Swatch watches.
Ah, yes, of course.
And that was the big highlight of our trip to or from India would be the excitement of looking through the catalog
Sure.
and then picking out the Swatch watch that you wanted and being able to purchase that. It was always very exciting.
I have purchased marzipan,
Ah,
sunglasses,
okay.
olive oil, like I said, lots of alcohol, hand creams, toys for children, including wooden toys from like the Czech Republic, so hand-carved wooden toys.
Oh, wow.
Pillows filled with seeds or beans or something like that.
Oh, like a relaxation pillow?
Something like that. I picked up in India. There was some sort of I don't know what's inside of it, but it feels like a bean type thing, and it's supposed to help you remember your dreams or something like that.
Oh, and you put it, is it kind of like an eye pillow that you put on your eyes?
No, it's bigger than that. I feel like it's this might sound strange, but put it under your pillow and you'll
Oh, I
remember your
see.
dreams. Something strange like that. I think that's the strangest thing
Do
I've
you
ever
find
heard.
that works?
No, it didn't, but I bought it, and I think I bought it as a gift for someone, and I forgot to give it to them. You know how sometimes you'll pick up something and then you'll put it in a safe spot, and you'll search high and low. You'll go upstairs, you'll go downstairs, every closet, every cupboard you'll open, you can't find it, and then one day you'll be like, oh, I should really get another bar of soap, and then boom, you'll be
There
like,
it is.
why did I have it with the soap? And at the time you were putting it away, you were like, this is the best spot for it.
That happens to me quite frequently. Marco, before you mentioned that you had purchased olive oil
Yes.
as one of your transactional items during your duty-free escapades, what kind of olive oil did you choose from a duty-free?
Well, it's interesting. It was a olive oil from Spain, because I was coming from Spain, and it was just a really great quality olive oil. Now, I love olive oil. Actually, I love all oils, but olive oil in particular I love. Here's a little something I like to do with olive oil. I have sort of an affinity for olive oil, and I'll tell you why, but if you have wooden spoons or spatulas in the house, you know how they can get almost like a white film on them. It's especially if the wood that those tools or utensils are made of is olive wood. You should oil it with olive oil.
What do you mean olive wood? Like olive wood from like olive
An olive tree? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a couple of pieces. I'll show you later. Maybe we'll take a photo and put it up online.
That would be great.
And olive wood loves to be oiled, and so does wood in general. You know how they say you should oil furniture and whatnot. Same is true for wooden utensils. And so once every 3 weeks, let's say, I'll make sure that I oil my utensils. But if you're in the kitchen and you're cooking with olive oil, I love to put a little on my hands. If you're going to paint, say you're going to paint a room, it's wise to, unless you're wearing gloves, put olive oil on your hands, rub it in till your hands are not oily anymore, till they're dry. You can even use a paper towel to wipe the excess olive oil off, so that when you paint, any little splashes of paint that hit your hand will easily come off, because you have a very thin layer of olive oil on your hands before the paint hit it.
Olive oil is one of those oils that just has such a soothing, almost medicinal property to it when it comes to cracked skin or dry skin. Even you can even put it in your hair.
Sure.
I put coconut oil in my hair.
Oil. Coconut oil is such a fantastic oil, because I love how in cooler months it solidifies, and in warmer months it stays very oily in the jar.
Yes.
Coconut oil supposedly has so many great properties for the skin, the hair, even for your digestive system. So you use it on your skin?
On my hair and my skin. So as I used it as for two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One, as a makeup remover.
Oh yes.
All natural makeup remover, which is great.
And it works.
It works wonderfully. Mm-hmm. So you just have to.
What exactly does it do? Like different than, say, other forms of makeup remover, whether they be chemical or whatnot?
Good question, Marco. I have incredibly sensitive skin, and so I don't particularly like using your over-the-counter makeup removers with a whole lot of chemicals. Mm-hmm. I find it very harsh for my skin.
Right.
And the coconut oil for me really, there's an immediacy to it. You don't need a lot of it. It also acts as a moisturizer, so I have very dry skin. So I find in the winter months it's particularly helpful, because it both acts as has the moisturizing component and also the makeup removing component to it. I usually use olive oil in my hair as well.
Olive or coconut?
Sorry, coconut oil. I keep talking about olive oil.
Because you can use olive oil in your hair as well. Sure.
Yes, you can. It's very popular for, I think, anyone in the South Asian community to use coconut oil in their hair.
I know that Amanda, who we mention at least once every podcast, puts a bit of coconut oil when she takes a bath, and it softens her skin.
Yep, absolutely. It's very moisturizing and very cleansing. And I also find that it helps with scarring.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you would apply it to a scar, and it would help to lessen or lighten or heal it? Oh.
Exactly. Now, whether or not that's true or that's just my perception of what coconut oil does, that part I'm not too sure.
It certainly can't harm.
No, it can't.
Right. I used to work as a guide in Italy, and part of the trips we would do in a region of Italy called Puglia, is we would go to olive groves to see how olive oil was made. And
can you describe a bit of how olive oil is made?
You know, it's interesting because the olives are collected from the tree, and many different groves have different methods in which they collect it. So some will climb on ladders and use like a rake to collect the olives off the tree. Others will use a mechanical instrument, kind of like a forklift, to shake the tree, and then they lay down a net so that the olives would fall onto the net and they would collect them from the net. And then a lot of places will bring, so a lot of farmers have olive groves, but they don't have an olive press on site. So they would take it to an olive press, and the olives would be pressed, some in traditional manners, some in more modern manners. And
Is it like squashing the grapes
No.
in a wine?
no, not
Winery?
exactly. No, it would be more like it's more intensive than that.
Okay.
Because I have also seen how they squash grapes for wine, and
Oh,
that's
amazing.
another process altogether, but interesting nonetheless. So the interesting thing about olives is that the best time to squish, let's say, an olive is as soon as it comes off the tree. So you want to bring it to the press as soon as you can from it being collected. You will get the best oil. The oil is going to be the freshest. You don't want to squish old olives.
Now, when the olives come off the tree, do they look like they do the olives that we see in a store or that you would have in a restaurant? Just is that what they look like when they come off the tree, or is
You know, that's a very interesting question. So I've taken olives off the tree and put them in my mouth to eat them, and they're extremely bitter.
Oh.
Extremely bitter. You couldn't eat olives. I mean, I guess you could, but it's really unpleasant. It was for me to eat an olive right off the tree. That said, some of the finest olives I've had were from these various groves that were making olive oil, and then they were making so many products with the oil that was collected. So you would have olive oil soaps and olive oil face and makeup products and olive oil tinctures and digestive aids, as well as, fine olive oil. It's very important when you're purchasing olive oil to ensure that you purchase it from a company that does not cut the olive oil, because that's a big problem that's happening in some places in Europe, in particular, where the olive oil that they sell in the home country will be pure olive oil, but the olive oil that they export to other countries will be cut with other lesser quality oils like rapeseed oil, and and so you're not having pure olive oil, even though the bottle may say extra virgin cold pressed olive oil.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very careful with the olive oil I purchase, and I make sure that it's from a country that I know it has very high standards. Israel, for example, California, those are two areas of the world that, generally speaking, there hasn't been a problem with olive oil being cut with other oils.
See, now that's funny because that's a bit counterintuitive in the sense that when you think of olive oil, obviously you automatically think of Italy, because it's sort of the stereotypical place of where you would think olives would come from. However, that Mediterranean climate really does extend to other places like Israel and California, where they would be cutting olive oil.
Or they'd be pressing olive oil, not
sorry.
cutting, or you would hope they wouldn't be cutting.
They would be pressing.
You don't want a mix of other lesser or poor quality oils mixed. When you purchase olive oil, you want pure olive oil. So that's just something to be aware of. Now, there's other oils. I don't know if you've ever cooked with avocado oil or walnut oil or grapeseed oil.
So funny that you should say that, Marco, because as you was talking, I was thinking about avocado oil, because that's an oil that I really would like to try in the very near future, but I haven't experimented.
Which one?
Avocado oil. I haven't really experimented with oils in my cooking regimen in that capacity before, so I won't experiment with walnut oil. I'm not even sure what one would bring, but I can see that you have some olive oil for me to try.
I just went to grab a little bit of the olive oil that we have in our house for you to sample that oil to see what it's like.
And sorry, we keep saying olive oil, but I'm actually going to be sampling some avocado oil.
We're talking so much about different oils that it gets a little bit confusing. So you can see, Nidhi, that the color of the avocado oil is very light with a slight hint of green. It's kind of more...
almost like a lime green, really.
Almost bordering on a yellow green. Yeah.
It seems to be the consistency a little bit less viscosity than olive oil, let's say.
And I wouldn't drink that whole, just taste it, because you might not.
There's not really a smell to it.
No.
All right, here we go.
There we go. Nidhi and her first taste of avocado oil.
That's actually quite nice.
You like it? Let me
I do.
Have a little taste of it.
Please. It's, as you say, very light. Very not as avocado-y as I thought.
That you would guess.
Yeah.
What do you think we use this avocado oil for?
So if I were using it, I would probably use it on a salad of some sort.
That's exactly it. Yeah, we have it for our salads because it's a light oil. It's not heavy. The viscosity isn't so harsh, so you can mix it with other items.
Absolutely.
It has a pleasant feel and taste to it.
It's not bitter.
It also allows you can impart flavors with the olive oil and avocado oil, and it has a lot of excellent nutrients and vitamins that are associated with avocado oil.
Marco, you mentioned walnut oil before. Have you ever used walnut oil?
Yeah, it's another great oil for salads. The thing with walnut oils or any sort of nut oils, whether they be hazelnut oils or even pumpkin seed oils, is they can go rancid very quickly. And that's why I believe they sell them in smaller bottles. If you've ever purchased them, they tend to be in smaller quantities. And they're expensive too, because you need to have so many walnuts, like a great amount of walnuts to create that much oil versus, compare the size of the walnut seed or the inside of a walnut to a olive or a avocado or coconut. It'll yield a lot more of the oil compared to a nut or, say, a pumpkin seed.
Sure. Now, when you're having these walnut or the avocado oil, do you mix it with any vinegar the way you would have olive oil and balsamic vinegar?
You can. Another nice thing to do is if you have a avocado and you slice it in half, you drizzle a bit of avocado oil, a bit of fine salt, pepper, and there you go. You could have it just like that as a sort of snack versus putting it in a salad or a guacamole or whatnot. It's really nice to have it. It complements the... Is avocado a fruit or vegetables? What?
I believe it's a fruit because it has a seed.
I see. So it complements its fruit very well. And I think that's true with olive oil too. You'll often find olives in olive oil.
Well, Marco, I have a good friend of my mom's in Montreal who actually has an olive oil store.
Really?
And they have drums of olive oil and vinegars. And their name, the name of the store is Olive en Folie. And,
which translates for people who don't speak French.
Olives in...
Folie or...
like in... I don't know how to describe it. Maybe joy, olives in celebration,
right.
olives. And they have all sorts of different flavored olive oils. So you can have a garlic olive oil, or the one that I really like is a lemongrass and basil olive oil that you can just put on stir fry. They have champagne balsamic vinegar. They have lavender olive oil.
Yum.
Really interesting flavors. So I enjoy going there and getting to sample the different olive oils. And so there are certain things that you can experiment with, but that is for another day.
Hopefully I'll try that out. We'd like to thank you for listening to our podcast. As always, we broadcast from Toronto, and the Insomnia Project is produced by Drumcast Productions.